What's going on, guys? It's Noah just checking in. I will be responding to people's comments through my second channel's account, Big No No Chronicles. So that's what I'm going to try to do to make up for this time in between when I just have no fucking choices right now. So a lot of people have been asking me how I'm doing depression, anxiety, and depersonalization-wise. I've not updated you guys on this for a little stretch, so I thought I would just briefly go over how I'm doing. Let's start with depression. I would say I'm in the best stretch of my life for depression, other than when I was young and ignorant and happy and unaffected by my poor choices in life yet. So depression-wise, I'm doing well. I'm sleeping pretty well. My outlook is pretty positive. I'm able to look into the future like I certainly wasn't when I was at my worst, and actually imagine a future for myself. Hopeless thoughts, despairing thoughts, they are about as low as they've been. Like I just said, I seem to be experiencing a great deal of success being off my antidepressants. So I've been on testosterone replacement therapy. That is currently my only mode of treatment. Other than that, I'm doing my best to eat healthy and live a healthy lifestyle, so I don't use and I don't drink, and again, I just try to do things that promote my wellness. So for right now, along with taking natural supplements, I seem to be doing pretty darn well. I certainly haven't had anything drastic like suicidal thoughts in quite some time, which I'm really, really grateful for. As many of you know, or some of you don't, I was in a bad place when I first came off my antidepressants, but again, I seem to be in a good place right now, and I would rate my mood, let's say my average mood for the week on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I need to be in a hospital because I'm severely suicidal, and 10 being I'm manic or something like that. I would say I've been consistently a 5.5 to a 6.5, which is an absolute miracle for me. I'm extremely grateful for that. I can handle that, and I always work harder to get even further, but it's all relative, right? Everything usually is based on perspective. From where I've been to where I'm at now, this is extremely acceptable to be in that range of stability on a day-to-day basis. I don't lose sight of that. I'm very grateful. There are days that are harder and some days that are perhaps a little bit better. But again, on average, maybe 5.5, 6, which is awesome. Anxiety-wise, I also would say I'm about as good as I've been in a long time. One of the main symptoms that I was dealing with forever, beyond being an anxious person, but physical symptoms were like a knot in the chest. I still suffer from race brain, obsessive thoughts, stuff like that, and what have you. But I think that's just my personality. It's sort of that ADD on the go. God, I don't know. It's just my ADD personality. So I'm working on taming those rambunctious and fruitful thoughts that just torment me sometimes when I'm sleeping. But the difference between those thoughts right now as opposed to when I was not doing well and my mental state is that I'm not obsessing about suicide. I'm not obsessing about killing myself. I'm not obsessing about how low I feel. I'm not obsessing about how I'm going to survive the next day. I just can't stop thinking about, a YouTube channel, or I can't stop thinking about a project I have to get done. So to speak, normal things to stress and worry about. I'm working on tuning those out. Physical symptoms of anxiety have almost been non-existent, other than what I would say is a normal response to anxiety-provoking situations like having a deadline or, for example, when you have work in the morning and you can't sleep for shit, and the clock is just getting closer and closer to the AM. I have a little bit of an anxious response to that, but no panic attacks for quite some time. So grateful. And the rumination, again, seems to be more standard, and I'm working on making it better, but anxiety is good. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, again, 1 being absolutely god-awful anxiety, 10 being no anxiety. It's kind of a weird way to do it, but that's how I'm going to do it. I'd say I've been like a 7.5. So again, 1, horrible anxiety, 10, none, 7.5. I don't know why I didn't do it flip-flop, but that's the way I did it. Let's go on to depersonalization, derealization. Man, it truly is a separate thing for me. The DP is the one symptom that I would say has... I'd be hard-pressed to say it's ever completely 100% left me. But it has gotten better to the point where I can say I've thought it might be gone before. And if anything, it's just so mild that I've been able to work past it, be functional, see through it, and not be deeply affected by it on any type of day-to-day basis. I kind of know it's still slightly there. If I had to give like a percentage of improvement, I'd say it's like I'm 95, like I'm throwing around all these different increments or measurements. I'd say I'm 90% cured and or just healed from my depersonalization, derealization. If you don't know what depersonalization, derealization is, It's just feeling like you're in a constant dream state, for a very stereotypical way of explaining it. Deep, deep haze, fog, life behind a window pane sort of thing. It really makes it hard to feel connected to your environment. And I would say day by day, I feel more and more connected to my environment. But this can change, and mental health recovery is not linear. Most of you know that, if not all of you. So I have harder days where I'm just like, man, I feel deeper in the fog. A lot of it has to do with how I'm treating myself on a day-to-day basis. So things that make my depersonalization worse that most people already know and should be aware of are just lifestyle stuff. So if you happen to binge drink the night before, obviously your depersonalization will be worse. If you eat like shit, your depersonalization will be worse. If you're in anxiety-provoking situations, most people's anxiety and depersonalization, they're comorbid. So it'll be worse. But if you can control the things that you're able to control and make positive effect on those, then you can really give yourself a better sense of A, where your depersonalization is, and B, how you can cope and deal with it. I used to think that one day with all this stuff, depression, anxiety, depersonalization, when I was really bad in it, I thought one day it would just dissipate completely. And I used to just obsess about what it would feel like to not deal with these symptoms, to be 100% cured. It hasn't really been that way. I no longer obsess that way. I just learn that with time, it gets better little by little. And you definitely learn to work through it, not overthink it, and see past it as it becomes less severe. Obviously, when it's at its absolute worst, depression, anxiety, depersonalization, your job is just to hold on. That was my job. I didn't have any capacity to think methods of treatment and or strategies, but as I become more experienced with this, I realized that A, it is all still there, just so much less than it ever was before, that I no longer am absolutely afraid for my life. And B, that I can still experience positive things in life, even with the symptoms that linger. They do not hinder my ability to attain and retain positivity, joy, warmth, whatever, all those positive emotions, love, connectedness. I still work through the muffled, the haze, but it's there. So anyway, that's my update on my depression, anxiety, depersonalization. I hope that was of use to you. I'm going to do another video soon going over my little supplement stack that I'm using, because other than my TRT, which is not to be taken lightly, it's a huge part of my therapy. If you'd like to know why I'm on TRT, please read the description below. I take a lot of supplements and try to do right by myself in a holistic way. So for right now, it seems to be going good. I'm always, whatever comes first, I feel like I'm prepared for the worst, but I'm trying to accept my moment, and when I have easier times, I'm just grateful. When I have harder times, I have a lot of resources to fall back on. So if you're not doing well right now, please hang in there, be strong. Check out healingfromdepression.com. Hit me up. I'll try to get back to you as fast as possible. And if you are doing well, that's fantastic. I'm so happy for you. It's a blessing. God knows it's a blessing. We should be grateful. Be sure to check out my second channel, Big No No Chronicles, link in the description. If you'd like to see a different side of my life outside the realm of health, wellness, testosterone replacement therapy, and mood updates, stuff like that, Big No No Chronicles, a great way to see the other side of my life, a more lighthearted version of myself, so to speak. And we'll do another video soon, guys. Take good care.